When a heavy iron sphere rolls off a cliff and plummets into the abyss, we intuitively understand why. It has mass, it exists in a gravitational field, and it possesses potential energy. In classical mechanics, potential energy equals mass times gravity times height. We translate this directly to an electrical circuit. Mass becomes a point charge, Q, and the gravitational field, that height pushing downward, becomes electrical voltage, V. But height is relative. In physics, we arbitrarily assign sea level a height of 0. Electrical circuits require that exact same anchor, a strict reference point called ground, where the electrical potential is mathematically defined as 0. Because of this relativity, trying to measure voltage at a point is a meaningless phrase. Voltage is strictly the measured difference in potential energy between two distinct points. This gives us the core behavioral rule of electrical engineering. Just as mass falls from high elevations to low ones, current flows strictly from a higher electrical potential to a lower one. A circuit is simply an engineered landscape. We build specific, calculated pathways of resistance to control exactly how those electrons fall. To control that fall, engineers rely heavily on a topography known as the voltage divider. It is a highly efficient way to step down an electrical potential to a specific desired level. The standard equation for this divider is introduced early in engineering education. It is easily memorized, it is widely implemented, and it is trusted completely to isolate specific voltages within a larger system. But that memorized equation contains a hidden, highly fragile assumption about the system's boundary conditions. This document points out a critical failure point. The moment you connect a functioning device, a load, to this perfectly calculated circuit, the mathematical model breaks entirely. Thousands of exam errors and countless failed circuits stem from forgetting this one limitation. To understand exactly why this shortcut fails and how to accurately calculate the fix, we have to discard the memorized formula. We need to build the circuit back up from the mathematical axioms established by George Ohm and Gustav Kirchhoff. The foundation of any circuit topography is the single resistor. It is a passive element that restricts the flow of electrons, directly dictating the time rate of change of charge. This relationship is governed by Ohm's law, V equals I times R. The voltage drop across any component is strictly proportional to the current flowing through it and its own resistance. This schematic shows two resistors placed sequentially, or in series, between two distinct electrical potentials, creating a continuous path from VA to VC. This specific geometry imposes an inviolable physical constraint. Because there is no alternate branching path, the exact same current, I, must flow through both resistors. This text shows the mathematical expansion. By applying Ohm's law, we add the individual voltage drops to span the sequence. This allows a topological reduction to a single equivalent resistance, Req, by dividing total voltage drop by the uniform current. The result is straightforward addition, R1 plus R2. This single mathematical operation is the foundation for predicting voltage drops across any consecutive pathway. But we must notice the strict dependency here. This series equivalency works exclusively because the current remains uniform and entirely undivided across the entire span. This formal voltage divider circuit anchors two resistors between a power supply and ground. By substituting the equivalent resistance into Ohm's law to find total current, we then calculate the voltage at the middle junction, node VA. The final equation is in fact remarkably elegant. The voltage at that middle node is dictated entirely by the ratio of the two resistors. The actual current cancels itself out of the equation. This exercise illustrates a practical engineering objective, taking a 6-volt power source and stepping it down to exactly 3 volts at node VA. The calculation is clean and simple. To cut the voltage exactly in half, the total resistance simply needs to be equally divided between the top and the bottom. If the top resistor is 100 ohms, the unknown bottom resistor, Rx, must also be exactly 100 ohms. The math perfectly supports the intended circuit design. It is a clean, definitive result, and it is correct. The voltage divider equation is a flawless predictor of electrical potential, but only within the sterile vacuum of a closed theoretical loop. In reality, stepping down a voltage to 3 volts is entirely useless unless you actually intend to power a 3-volt device. That device is called a load. It is any external component or circuit that draws current to do physical or computational work. This schematic shows our carefully balanced circuit again, but this time we connect a new 200-ohm load directly to node VA to simulate a real-world device. This introduces a critical problem. What happens to our perfectly calculated 3 volts at node VA now that the load is actually attached? The voltage immediately drops. It is no longer 3 volts. The elegant voltage divider equation we relied on is now generating a mathematically incorrect answer. The 200-ohm component didn't fail, and the 6-volt power source didn't fluctuate. Instead, the underlying topological assumptions of our formula were quietly violated. Attaching that load altered the geometry of the circuit, forcing a mandatory retreat from shortcuts back to first principles. To diagnose exactly why the math broke, we have to look closely at the point of intersection, node VA. This text defines Kirchhoff's current law. It is the ultimate arbiter of charge conservation, stating that the sum of all currents entering a junction must equal 0. Simply put, what flows in must flow out. When we compare the two circuits side by side, the error becomes visible. In the unloaded circuit on the left, a single line of current flows straight down, but on the right, the current hits the junction at VA and splits. The basic divider equation strictly requires the exact same volume of current to flow through both the top and bottom resistors. The moment that current split to feed the 200-ohm load, the current flowing down through Rx became less than the current flowing through the top resistor. Rx and the load now exist in a parallel relationship. They share the exact same voltage drop to ground, but they are actively dividing the current between them. To fix our math, we can no longer analyze Rx in isolation. We must evaluate the entire parallel structure as a single combined entity. Failing to recognize when a series topology transforms into a parallel one is the exact cause of all those exam errors. This equation provides the mathematical fix. It allows us to condense two parallel resistors into a single equivalent series resistor by multiplying them, then dividing by their sum. We apply this formula to the bottom half of our broken circuit, combining the 100-ohm Rx and the 200-ohm load. This reveals the counterintuitive reality of parallel circuits. By adding an extra path for the current, the total resistance of that section drops. We are left with a fully simplified circuit topology. We are back to a simple series circuit, but our bottom resistance is now 66.6 ohms instead of 100. Because we restored the single-path series boundary conditions, we can finally plug these new numbers back into the elegant voltage divider equation and safely trust the result. True power doesn't come from memorizing equations. It comes from morphing complex physical realities into shapes where those equations mathematically function. We built a flawless theoretical model, broke it by introducing a real-world load, and fixed it by retreating to the fundamental laws of conservation. The core lesson for analyzing any schematic is simple. Never treat a working node as an isolated system. Anything connected to a circuit inherently becomes part of that circuit. Mathematical shortcuts are powerful tools, but when boundary conditions change, that elegance must be discarded for the strict axioms of Ohm and Kirchhoff.